this is just like Ciarfox, and I'm not late. Shut up. Anyways, we're gonna real quickly, do the Dark Knights quest. And maybe, if there's a need for it, do leveling. Run to get them up. But, yep! The reason why I played is because I absolutely forgot. And the other thing that occurred to me on it is, I would have thought that it would be Saturday, Friday and Saturday that the queue times would be the worst, but no, they aren't. It's a Sunday. The fuck? Hi, me. I mean, Frey. Watching you, and she's not pleased with your progress. Oh, good! I've been slow with it. I'm beginning to question your commitment, Ishnai. At least you're calling me out on it. You haven't heard the voice since our last communion, which means you haven't taken my lessons to heart. You know I'm trying to help you, don't you? All this is for your benefit. You listen, but you don't understand. Never mind. You're the stubborn type, I know that. We just have to keep at it until you open your eyes. Or, more by dry docks. That's where we'll head next. Rockin' horse. Never cared much for the ocean myself. That friend of mine, the one I told you about after our first communion, we came out here together once. Long story short, we ended up doing something ridiculously foolish and we're lucky to make it out alive. Oh, so story of my life? I tried to talk her out of it, but she had to get on that damn boat. Don't be like that, friend. Isn't the maelstrom supposed to aid the small folk when they're in a spot of trouble? So far as is possible, yes, but such matters fall within the purview of the Yellow Jackets, and they told me to bugger off. Can you believe that? I'm begging you, Sergeant. Wait, is that you, Lieutenant Ciarfox? No, it is not. Go away. It is, the legend yourself. Forgive me, madam. I never thanked you properly for your service to RPG sex capital of Final Fantasy XIV. When I heard that Leviathan had been summoned, I feared that... Why, if it isn't that famous adventurer who's been killing primals left and right. The 12 must be watching over me, because you're just the woman I need. Am I? Stop. I'm a victim of a terrible, nay, heinous crime. I was waylaid by Chi-Chi-Run bandits near the Salt Strand. It left me with not more than the clothes on my back. What makes you think I give a Quidgen's arse about your troubles? Go and bother the Yellow Jackets like the sergeant said. I seek worthy prey, not a gang of rats. How can you say such a thing, madam? Without your help, I'm ruined. Fine, I'll help. Spoken like a true hero. So you know what? The rank and file doesn't seem so dangerous, but their leader is a mean-looking bastard. But consider the foes you've faced in the past. He couldn't possibly pose a threat to you. Shut your mouth and wait here. I'll be back. You'll find them on the Sand Street, man. The big camp. Only mind their leader, A. He's the mean looking bastard, that one. You really don't have to do this, madam. What level is this, the quest? 45, okay. So I might have one more after this? If the cheats are in haven't isn't everything he promised, I'll take it out on his hide. I know, right? Let's make the most of this, Ishnai. No style, no guile, just chaos. Mark your limits, then push yourself beyond. Let the darkness guide you and set you free. Darkness guide you. Weak but plentiful, they'll sympathize. At least they're not, you know, the flesh eaters from the expansion pack area. Tenacious bastard, right, the goods. Good, there's nothing left here for... You okay, Freya? You did well. All that's left is to return the goods to their owner. Finish it. Finish what we started. Yeah, but you look like you need some help. Ah, it's you. Were you able to catch up with those bandits? Yes, that seems to be mine, but... Lemon, take me. I can't sell this. Everything's soaked through with corroded blood. What, did you carve one open and leave them bleeding all over my wares? I don't know how. It's inside a box. I'm ruined. I'm utterly ruined. Man, I demand recompensation for your reckless destruction of my property. I'm a reasonable man, so I'll acknowledge you're not wholly responsible. 50% of the value should suffice. Karen? 50%. 50%! I slaughtered a gang of bandits for your precious goods, and this is the thanks I receive? You spineless sack of shite. I kill your enemies, I fetch your things, I do what you people can't or won't do for yourselves. You're helpless, weak, and all you do is want and need. I should have left you all to drown in Leviathan's tidal wave. At least I would have spared your constant bloody whining. Don't speak of me ever of this again. Please, forgive my insolence, madam. Lieutenant Ciarfox, madam, you have every right to be upset, but I think he understands, madam. Never again, madam, I promise. Honestly, ma'am, I didn't think you had to. Look, like I said I'd get the items back. I never said anything about, you know, what condition they would be in when they came back. Also, we did not make a contract that said that they'd be in, you know, good condition when they got back. So I still don't understand how I got blood all over a container that was shut, unless a container was not shut. I can't keep doing this, Ishnai. You must see now what it's doing to us. What they're doing to us. These people. We don't need them to become a Dark Knight. Not entirely true, Ishnai. They have helped you to cultivate the darkness within in a way, but their help is no longer needed. All that remains is to hearken to the voice, to grasp its words, and discover your true calling. I wish I could tell you, I wish I could make you see, but all I can do is guide you on your journey. Let the darkness flow through you, Anakin. Sorry. With every breath you grow lighter and slip further into the abyss. A chorus of voices cries out for a hero, and she comes. She smiles, she nods, and she remains silent. But she too has a voice. I will be heard. Ishnai Ciarfox. You stand at a precipice, but do not fear the fall. Cast yourself into the abyss, and you shall soar above, free at last. There are other lands than these, Ishnai, lands where we are not known. Ask, and we shall quit this place forever. Only when you have renounced everything you are free to do anything. When we meet again, you'll give us your answer. Okay, looks like I didn't gain a skill from that. Anyways, let's go do a real quick. Like I said, oh no wait, it needs a healer. I'm gonna wait and go back when it needs a tank. So what are you up to, Lone Wolf? I love that last night it actually recognized the fact that I'm a fucking healer. And she said something about it. But damn it, were you the one telling me to use my head and stay alive? All my ware's gone up in smoke. I almost missed a fire taking me too. I have nothing left. You have your life. You can gain it back. What is done is done. The dead are dead. All I can do is feed the living and pray that it helps them grow stronger. Bastard paid no heed to whether or not the men they slaughtered were armed. Some soldiers, damn it all. No clue what to do? Have you heard of the free MMO, Genshin Impact, or Honkai... I'm gonna start real. Tease, tease, tease. See to the wounded, Ishnai. If they live, help them. If not, move on. Came together so secret in the end, there are just too many of them. It's gotten better, but you have to get through the first area, kind of thing. Milford lies motionless, having breathed his last. Clenched in his fist was a small charm, which he take for safekeeping. He was already cold when I got to him. It was naught I could do. That charm must have been important. You best take it to Conrad. Conrad's not doing very well either right now, if I remember correctly. And Honkai Star Rail is awesome. If you like turn-based stuff. I know some people aren't particularly interested in it. You're worried about Ishtola, aren't you? Sigh, it's too early to make any kind of prognosis, but she's alive, for now. If it wasn't for her, it'd be me lying there. I wish it was. Well, but the thought that occurred to me when I was laying down last night was, what's with them, like, beating up both Thancred and Y'shtola? Those two seem to be the ones that seem to be getting the worst end of the stick when it comes to, like, the Scions. I know Iriange lost a friend, but I mean, he wasn't physically hurt. I mean, losing somebody can physically hurt, stress and all this other stuff, but I mean, you know what I'm getting at, like, Debet Aliaze, this is serious, you need to rest. You seem ready to burst into tears. I'd fetch you a handkerchief, but yeah, I seem to be the only one walking around even though I was there with Ali. It makes no sense. He brushed us aside as if we were nothing. Monago, Milfred, where are you? This is... He's dead, isn't he? Milfred was a worrier, always thinking about others before himself. He once had an Imperial patrol trace him nigh on 20 miles, so that his wounded would have time to escape. His comrades leapt him for it, of course, though it only made him worry more. Did you know that he sent Ismond to Quarry Mill away because he thought that they were fighting for him, and not the cause? Well, he did. The only life he was willing to risk was his own, you see. But that's actually the kind of man that should be the leader. The kind of man who deserves to survive. Not an old fool who's all used up. There's no logic to it, Master Kemp. There never is. Who stands, who falls. In the heat of battle, we can do our best, as he did. Milfred will be sorely missed, but because of his sacrifice, many who now live who otherwise would not, and they need us, now more than ever. Aye, that they do. Forgive me. I had high hopes for him, is all. What can you do at a time like this other than curse the gods and your own powerlessness? Yeah, game developers, for making me lose in a predetermined battle. Seems quite strict. At least it wasn't in a cutscene. I'll give them that. I'll recover. My injuries aren't serious, though that was clearly by choice and not by happenstance. They meant to take me alive. Our defeat was no near thing. It was total a humiliation. We were powerless to withstand the enemy's assault, but we cannot afford to dwell on our failure. As Alphino said, it is those who survive whom we must think of right now. Radgar's reach is no longer safe. Imperials may have withdrawn, but they could return at any time to finish what they began. We dare not remain here. Those who are not fit to make the journey to Castrum Oriens will need to be taken by Chocobo carriage. Agreed? Good. I shall oversee preparations for the carriages. In the meantime, I would have you scour the infirmary for any supplies that might provide useful during the journey. Yeah, like my healing ability. I'll accompany Comrade Kemp in one of the carriages. We'll move the wounded to Castrum Oriens. Understood. I'll go and see if anyone requires assistance. Good thing nobody's asking me to rest, even though the shit got kicked out of me, too. No, I hate to be a burden. As if you need to ask. You need to carry your stroller to the carriage. Could you give me a hand, Lies? Okay, as if you need to ask. Yep. Forgive me, but it is imperative that I continue preparing medicines for the wounded. If you desire treatment, I must ask you to get elsewhere. Oh, I see. In that case, you're free to search the barber and take what you require. I will not have our people dying en route. I would assist you, but this process demands my undivided attention. Take whatever you need. I'll replenish the stock afterwards. I fear there may not be I think he's tiny. Nothing new. Yep. Rockin'. Miss Marshall Tarpin said you might have something for me? Palms we praise. This should put the driver's heart at ease. Tell the Vice Marshal we await his orders. Yashol and the others are safely strapped in. Don't worry, I'll be at her side the entire time. Thank you, Kiri. I'll walk alongside. They'll need protection in case the Garleans try anything. Hang on. You're injured too, aren't you? Shouldn't you be one of the carriages? I'm not so frail that I can't make the trip on my own. Besides, there's still work to be done here. I'll see you at the wall when it's finished. As you wish. Then let us set forth at once. We shall move quickly as our comrade's health allows. To Castrum Oriens. Let's pray they arrive safely. Well, I don't know. Why did I go with them? Master Kemp, your concern for your men's well-being is commendable, but I would urge you to consider your own. There was the thought. Back to... Nope. Leveling is still needing... That is an interesting thing. Healer. Struggle to cope with a bitter reality. You saved a good many of my men, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But the fact remains, our forces were decimated. In this state, will not be mounting an assault on Castrum Vildana or anything else. We need to be honest with ourselves about our prospects, but first we need to put our affairs in order here. Afterwards, I'll join you at Castrum Oriens. Understand, we'll go speak with General Aiden. Like I said yesterday, we need to be kicked in the teeth to show us our place in the pecking order at the beginning of a expansion so that we can rise above it. Well, not just in the teeth. Anywhere in the body! See, the reaches means a lot to these people. It would be suicide to stay. But it would be suicide to stay. For more than a decade, the Resistance have resided here, hidden from the eyes of the Empire. And just when we set our sights on Donna, they strike. Do you find that passing strange? Pippin has already departed with the wounded, has he? Good. We have completed our search of the Reach and the surrounding area. As far as we can tell, Xenos and his men returned straight ways to Spectra Imperatus after quitting this place. It would seem he lost interest in us. Which brings us to the most troubling question of all. Not how he found us, but why he chose to spare our lives in having done so. In war, you would kill or capture your enemy. You didn't leave him to fight another day. Only a fool would turn his back and walk away, but Xenos is no fool. Whatever his motive, it is neither the time nor the place to think on it. I will leave a token force to watch over the Reach. The rest will fall back to Castromorians, and we can discuss our path forward there. Did I talk to Jermaine? Let's see what these guys have to say. My father, he didn't make it. They killed him. Those thrice-damned Imperials killed him. Welcome. Hard fight. What place is this? It doesn't change his conversation at all. That. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. I have called upon the still great Fane to send every available conjurer, no matter how inexperienced, to help with the wounded. I pray it will be enough. Yeah, shame that we don't have a white mage. How in Maid's name did they find the Reach? I thought their glamours were impenetrable. Kind of like unsinkable. Bad joke is bad. Yes, bad joke is bad. Kiri's with Yustola. She hasn't woken up, but Kiri says she's through the worst. Given the severity of her wound, we could have hoped for no more. Let us pray she makes full recovery. We lost a lot of good men. I mean people, didn't we? I saw it happen. When the Skull's commander cut down Melfred, a single blow and that was it. Everything he fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, gone in an instant. Do you know what was the worst part? It wasn't a Galarian that did it. Garlean who did it. It was an Almegan. God's help me if I ever... No, not now. Not while the general's waiting. Oh, don't worry. The cute girl will become our friend somewhere along the way. Oh, lies. I have this power of main protagonists getting people on our side somehow. Or I kill her, but whichever one happens, happens. I can really not recall this expansion.
You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
Is it just me or an Alphino is now sounding a bit lower in pitch? It's the same voice actor, but...
The future?
He's growing up!
Sorry,
He's
General,
reached
no
God past puberty with a high-pitched voice.
We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Mefrid with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Have they?
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
You're back, adulting, yeah.
The Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. a unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation. Sons and daughters of Vir Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors, but they're our children, our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then
what was it all for?
Nago.
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included.
Shut up!
Gods help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varus's heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
Give him multiple fields he has to fight on. We take to fight the Doma.
Interesting. You are suggesting we kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more and force Xenos to fight a war on two fronts?
Wahaha! You can't be at both places at once.
There would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised. And I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Ken. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild, and when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
Woo!
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there. And make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
I mean, you can make no promises on that behalf.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
I can't deny part of me wants to stay and fight, but I know it'd be more use with you and the others. Ye gods, the pain. Seemed like a good idea at the time. You are stubborn, yes. You said your piece, yes. Now would you please return to bed? You'll never recover if you carry on like this. We've got a long road ahead of us, but it all begins with the first step. We'll stay in the Reach and rebuild. We'll reinforce our defenses, and if they come again, we'll be ready. So we fight on, come what may. Sentiment notwithstanding, what other choice did we have? I'll call same experience. I mean, numerous are to bleed. It's not the first time Xenos has spared his foe. The city abides by an unusual code, takes pleasure on the fight. Whatever his reasons, we must use this time to our advantage. I wish you well on your journey, friend. Let us pray when we meet again, our fortunes much change. Most likely they have. That goes without saying, but the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government here or elsewhere, and I'm not quite certain that we said about the Doman Liberation Front. Nevertheless, we can but go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Congrats, Super Earth Command! still doing the, what, Marauder? Hasn't it changed over to Warrior, though, now that I think about it? The Warrior. Plan to save Eorzea. Remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed to these lands to save Eorzea and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task, and Eorzea lives on. Our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it's no less important with the multitudes whom we will free from imperial oppression, whom we will free. Who's beyond one alone, yet maybe within reach of many. Sage. Oh wow, nice. I'm not high enough to get Sage, I don't think, yet. I mean Scholar. Okay. Where men go as one, there's life, and where there's life, there's cause for hope. Our grandfather once believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in the Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Orthard is not exactly over the river and through the woods. And it isn't exactly Grandma's house. I'm one step ahead of you, dear sister, or rather, Tataru is. Before we discuss that, there's another issue I wish to address. Much as I would like if we could all make this journey together, someone will need to remain to serve as Leon's envoy to the Alliance and Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, each soul cannot be left unattended. Then I should obviously remain. Very well. Issue addressed. You know, Alphino, it would have been quicker just to ask, and markedly less patronizing. Yes, I suppose, would you be willing to look over Y'shtola and provide support to Arnvald and the others? Yes, Alphino, I would. You see, that wasn't so hard. Enjoy your trip, and don't you dare return without a gift. Oh, I would not dream of it. Right then, sister. Ishnai. Lies. Gather your things. We are for RPG sex capital of Final Fantasy XIV. Also, I might do a bit more of the Naderville quest at the end of this, so I kind of left that alone for a bit. And while I'm there, I need to check on my squadron. The squadron. Wait, Afcastle, Afcastle. Hmm. Veterans training, okay. I'll be back in an hour then. I'm near enough to it. Lies, damn lies, and pirates. Ah! So just pirates? The brand always you stole this domain. I haven't spent much time here, to be honest. Well, good thing I'm a lieutenant here or something. I spoke with Uriange and thanked her along the way. To say they were surprised by our stratagem would be somewhat a thing of an understatement, but they did not dispute its logic. Tataru should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So we're going by sea after all. Is Moral Blim lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You're right in as much as we'll be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it's simply not feasible for an airship to travel such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running foul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then it is equally feasible to sail an Eorzean Alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice. Which leaves us with one other option. Ah, speak of the devil. Tataru is not the devil. Sorry to keep you waiting. I may present you the Captain Caravalian of the Kraken Arms. Hi, I know you. The Kraken Arms? Don't tell me we made a deal with pirates. I mean, may I re-inform you that this is the reformed pirates to some degree. Greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tone you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement? Not at all, Captain. Pray, forgive my sister for her outburst. She's ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the high houses of Ishgard. But where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn do still wish to employ your services. However, it is important you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intent on securing passage to the Far East, you came to us, knowing to be proud purveyors of said region's finest spices, which you steal from God's-fearing merchants out at high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law as set forth by our inflaggable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we're pragmatists. I see consider a risk in aiding your cause, a negligible profit. Well, I will, for one, think the captain has a point. 5 seas can be extremely treacherous, with many a poor soul has to come to grief out in the waves. Why, if we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir to the House of Dunedain vanished at sea. Even now, still 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives and would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Snark! Truly a tragedy of the ages and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you're prepared to abide by the capricious winds of fate, I am willing to oblige you for once. I mean, I've killed a man too. I've killed quite a few men and non-human creatures. And I will kill again. Also, you might need to see something about that UTI. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand I cannot deliver you to Domo itself. I can only take you as far as Kugan. Nay. Gashi. I require time to still, I will throw this out there. Cranberry juice is amazing. I require to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. I am autistic. I don't do very well with two truths and a lie. I just go with all of them are true until stated otherwise. Blackmail, is it? This is a dangerous game the two of us are playing. What guarantee do we have the Cavalian won't just throw us overboard? I'm not sure what just happened, but I could have sworn he was about to turn us away, but then he changed his mind? Poor little boy has only seen 14 summers when he left Ishgard. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to finally be free to explore the world, unbeholden to all the stuffy tradition of the Holy See? Such a shame he never returned home. Without him, Count de Lidenaire must look elsewhere for a successor, and the good Lord Janquars is one step closer in order to be next in line. Oh God! Being an astrologian. Oh God! Suddenly, all those hours Tataru passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seems rather better spent, did they not? That said, I intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something discerning about the pleasure Tataru took in making Captain Kamarian squirm. That's what Tataru's someone never to mess with. Thinking away you might pass the time. I say we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while they ready the vessel for departure. Tataru and I will procure the necessary supplies. Alaze, I would be grateful if you used the time to brief Urianger on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedures in the event of emergency. How very prudent of you. Very well. I shall go and speak with him. What about Ishnai and Lies? I would like the two of them to return to Revenant's Toll and speak with our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide will be most welcome. And when we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Sounds like a plan. Let's go, Ishnai! I was gonna say, yeah, I think I still have the tolls up. What am I doing? Lies. Well, here we are. We need to talk to lots of people, so I think we could split up, gang! I'll ask around the House of Splendors. You take the Rising Stones. I'll meet you here after. Got it? I don't think you have the tact to deal with the Rising Stones. Well, at least you've changed your outfit so that maybe Rowena will talk to you. Without trying to sell you something new. No, what am I saying? She's going to try and sell something new. If Doma knows peace in our time, I'd like to see it with my own eyes. Perhaps partake of the Heart Springs Homai tells me of as well. You're truly planning to travel to Doma? I don't know what to say. Forgive me, I shall aid you in the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land, nestled in the east coast of Othard. Along the banks of the One River, our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish, but travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to no one. Not for me. Tataru entrusted me with the remainder of her responsibilities in her absence. Should you require aught, pray not hesitate to ask. Greetings, Ishnai. What brings you to the Toll this day? What? You are for Doma? Heavens, your silence have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine you would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and we spied an opportunity. The Emperor dead, Garlemane in chaos. It seemed the time was right. Beneath our Lord's banner we gathered and fought to reclaim our nation, but when Sinnos arrived with the 12th Legion, it was over in an instant. Naught would be greater joy than to join you on your journey. However, Lady Yagiri made it clear we are to remain here and safeguard the community we've built. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. Thank you that you go join Yagiri and go get Sue in the fight that fills me with such joy. Forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We are the Nai clan have served the Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions with Doma Castle even. Now it is home to the Imperial's Viceroy, Witch, and her host of men in Magitech. To think what was once the shining symbol of our heritage, the seat of dear Lord Kyan, has become a den for Garlean dogs. Dome was all but wiped out from the face of Othard. Only Dome and Castle, the seat of our lord and symbol of all that we were, was spared the wages of war. Yet for the blessing that it is, the thought of that witch and her sycophants claiming it for their own fills me with unspeakable anger, excuse me. Lord Kyan was a good man who cared only for his people. Though it pained him to kneel to Garlemald, he did so for our sake. And for our sake, he would be willing to endure the ignominy of another 25 years, and we would not beseech him to act. We would convince him that we could win, that we could defeat Xenos and the Empire, and for our failure, he paid the ultimate price. I remember sitting on the banks of the One River as a child, watching the fishing boats drift by, but now the One River is closed to all. The moon gates open for none. One of the reasons I know I will be outright as quick as possible getting the currents for, and that's the one region where you can get the box kit as a pet. Ah, there you are. Learn anything interesting? The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about Far Eastern customs and the importance of formality and politeness. I like to think Eorzeans can be just as stiff as stuffy as anyone, especially Ishgardians. But anyways, did you know they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard, actually, at least that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. And when I spoke to the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was a load of stupid, Wow, what you learned sounds a lot more useful, unless someone invites you to dinner, of course, and I hope they do. Thanks, this time your turn to... Right, no point waiting around here, is there? We should head back to RPG sex capital of Final Fantasy XIV! Alphino says that we meet at the ferry docks, I think. I think I go to the Fisherman's Guild for that. Which reminds me, I need to bite the bullet and do some of the quests. I also haven't unlocked the samurai thing. Maybe I should do that before I go to at least there, just as a thing. Oh look, ADHD. Where'd you come from? Oh wait, you've always been with me? Damn it. Balls, balls, just when you think you've seen it all. The world's full of surprises. What am I talking about, you ask? Oh, nothing much. Just the most amazing blade work I've ever seen. It wasn't even the main card either, but light entertainment. A Far Easterner fellow, old enough to be my grandfather, appeared and called for challengers. But who should answer him but a brute of a gladiator? People thought it was either a mummery or a sick joke. After all, what could one expect from such a mismatch? The old and infirm versus the young and informed? But when the action began, the old man proceeded to drop everyone's jaws. His opponent, not least of all, with his blistering blade work. The most riveting moment, though, was when he had the challenger on the back foot. Instead of finishing the job, he went and sheathed his blade. Putting your steel away in the heat of battle? Well, that's committing suicide. This wasn't lost on the gladiator, who lunged in with a mighty swing. The spectators gasped collectively, thinking it was over, but it was not for the old man. For instance, an instant before anyone could comprehend what happened, his opponent crumpled to the ground. One fell stroke, and with impossible speed, the old man drawn his sword and dealt the telling blow. A few heartbeats passed in stunned silence. The stands erupted in righteous cheering. gods, just recounting it gives me the chills. The speed, the precision, the elegance, simply sublime. How is it possible I've never heard of these Far Eastern warriors? These samurai. On another side note, I might also unlock Heaven on High. We'll see. Wait, are you thinking what I'm think you're thinking? You want to face the old man? Well, that silver-tongued showmaster was looking for a new challenger, but you don't want to do this. Let someone else be the fool. You say that. You might, okay, same thing. You say that, but, I have no ability to understand my own, you know, mortality on things. I have no survival instincts. I am the main protagonist. That was Gladiator's Guild. Should I take another melee character and go against them? Yeah. Come one, come all! The marvel at the mystery of the Far East! A swordsman hailing from the exotic Hingashi, whose blade work is quicker than the eye can see! Don't let his age fool you. Old though he may be, he's already made a short work of one of Udal's meatinest gladiators, and he now seeks a new challenger. If you can best him, you'll be rewarded with a rare treasure. There's just one condition. You must fight with the same blade as the old man's. If you think you have what it takes, proceed to the Gladiators Guild and make yourself known to the Far Eastern Elder. That's the best at Eastern. If you think you have what it takes, yep, same thing. Hi, I'm stupid. I mean, stupid hi, handsome. This aura, unusual yet undoubtedly formidable. Dare I hope worthy challengers come? Well met, friend. I am Musosai, a samurai of the Hingashi. Musosai. Lest you wonder, samurais are swordmen of the Far East, yet known that the swords we wield are unlike those of this land. Katana, they are called. For our duel I shall lend you such a blade, along with a stone. A talisman's a sort, you mean a spirit stone. Wear them on your persons, and you shall become one of us. At least in appearance, if not in sooth. So I outright already get it. Cool. Bushido! What do you mean chest chase? Might as well. So might as well. Better. Oh, I'm naked. Hi. Finished adulting? So sigh. Temporary. Ah yes, in your gaze I see the strengths of a newborn samurai. 'Tis plain the stone has already bequeathed some of its memories onto you. Yet having the memories is one thing, mastering them is quite another. We shall see how you fare against me. Prepare yourself, young samurai, and we'll begin as soon as you're ready. I'm gonna have to move things around. Thank you. Nope, 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 nope. Alright. Okay. These tend to ranged attack. Usually I set that about 5 or 6. That's a Jimpu. Okay. With a... I'm having a moment. I have a lot of those moments, but I seem to be having more moments than I should. Yes, I don't see Fuka. Oh, there. That's Fuka, not Fuko. Fujitsu. That is a group. Blank, so it's from behind. Okay, increase damage. So 1, 2. A. What's Setsu? I guess Setsu's the whatchamacallit gauge? Okay, yeah. Getsu. So I'm guessing Haka is then Jinpu, then Sufu. Well then Haka is then Sufu. Both of those are I think I have it set up, but gather ye round and bear witness, for another brave challenger has appeared. Next to face Masu Sai, Sword Master of the Far East, we have an itinerant adventurer. Yes, that's exactly what I am. But I guess with class setups, I find it easier to figure out more in battle, but hold it right there. No one gets to take down that old bastard except me. Beroad, the last standing scourge of the sands. You made a fool of me earlier, but this time there'll be no tricks. This time I fight with me own sword, and not that pathetic excuse for a needle you handed me. What's this? Boneheaded Beroad, who so roundly trounced but moments ago, has invaded the Blood Sands. I mean, for those who came in late, he's the disgraced... Thank you for informing me. For those who came in late, he's the disgraced gladiator who was cast out of the Colosseum for, and I paraphrase, being an all-around obtuse brute. That's a way of putting it. The rules were plain, and you agreed to them. There were no tricks. Shut your mouth and fight me again. Such eagerness for blood. The warriors of this land are as naked blades. Handsome says no. I'll get you next time. Okay. Yes, Saturday morning cartoon. And with that distraction out of the way, we may continue where we left off. Alright, Ansem. Ansem the Wise. Can't tell will this... If not, I'm probably gonna lose because I don't know what I'm doing. Well... Come at me with all your might. That's a slow one. No, wrong thing. Don't harbors the techniques. Should also probably use neutral. Yes, let your strength seep through. Good, precise movements. Are you just gonna stand there and take it? I mean, I feel bad. Well, to master such advanced techniques so quickly. Wrong button. Impressive, a technique born of arduous trials. You've already made it on your own. That will do. Victory is yours, young one. That was anticlimactic. And the challenger wins! To draw forth such strength from the stone in so short a time, you are no ordinary woman. No, I am not. I am protagonist. As promised, I shall bestow upon you the rarest of Higani treasures, training in the way of the samurai. What's the matter? Our techniques are not found in this land, hence their great worth. As my pupil, you will train under my watchful eye, and even learn the most puissant of my techniques. Why, you lying bastard! All that fighting and there wasn't even coin in it? What's this? Boneheaded Burrow's back, and this time he brought friends! This man doesn't know when to give up. Also doesn't know how to put on more clothes. You got a problem? Come down here and say it. At no point was it said that the treasure was an object, let alone coin. Besides, winning it was beyond you. Shut the hells up! This time I'll show you my true strength. With me and my men! Sorry. Your strength lies in numbers, 'twould seem. Very well. If you insist on another trouncing, then so be it. But know this time 'tis not I who will deal with it, but my pupil. Having seen your potential firsthand, he and his ilk ought not pose you any trouble. Nothing like being thrown into the deep end! So, being thrown into the deep end implies that he is actually a challenge. Whoever she is, I'll take care of her too. Yeah, I haven't saved the realm or anything. Good that... Oh. You're going to do that, are you? You're gonna be a dick and do that, are you? Next! Next! See your pretty swords. Next! But if you want something done right. No one beats me in my Coliseum. No one. Uh-huh. Saw at this, I'm gonna make you hurt, old man. It's the last thing I do. Really? You good? He keeps missing. You are done. Then allow me. Haha, not even worth drawing my blade. Well fought, young one. I've seen all I need to see. Did we kill him, or did we knock him out? What fearsome fighters, these samurai! Let's give her a rounding applause! Forgive me, I know it was wrong to force that fight upon you, and yet I find I did not regret having done so, for it has reaffirmed beyond any doubt the promise I have glimpsed in you. Long did I search in my native land for a pupil, but found none fit to be a vessel for my knowledge. The problem, I concluded, lay in my people's way of thinking, the zeal with which they uphold tradition to the detriment of all else. So it was that I set forth for a new land, this Air's Ear. I placed myself in the midst of your most able swordsmen, offering myself up as a spectacle in hopes of finding a worthy soul. And find her I did, in you. Now, I realize all this may appear, how all this may appear. To you, I could be a strange old fool spouting nonsense, but I'm well past caring about appearances. I will speak with all earnesty when I say that there's none other whom I would pour my knowledge, and so I ask you, will you consent to be my pupil? Words cannot express my joy, for from this moment on, we are master and student. Now then, I would know your name. By what are you called? Ishnai. 'Tis a fine name. Thank you, I made it up. Without further ado, Ishnai, we shall commence your training. Pray, join me at the nearby tavern, the Slick Hand. That's not... I thought the other place is the closest one. Why are we going? Oh yeah, it's the Slick Hand. Oh, because he does... The poor old foreigner misheard the name of it. I shall begin at the very beginning. That's the very best place to start. In the distant past, Hidengashi went a period of strife, during which numerous opposing factions vied for the supremacy, the Age of Blood. Or the Age of the Warring Factions, I think's the general name. In Japanese. In this age, full many took battle with the katana in hand, and in the crucible of war, our art was formed, the way of the samurai. Eventually, the realm was unified under one banner, and peace reigned once more. The people cast aside their katana, save for we samurai, who continued to wield it as a symbol of authority. And with that authority comes a grave responsibility, protecting the peace. Of course. With great power comes great responsibility. Ah! To ensure that the Age of Blood was never repeated, we samurai seek out the wicked and bring them to account. In doing so, we ward off chaos and preserve order in the realm, such as our calling. But you're judge, jury, and executioner by the sound of it. Hingashi, or Air's Ear, it matters not where we are. This calling guides us always. To that end, we shall journey the land, you and I, on a quest to right the wrongs. As one who has grasped the foundation of our art, it is your surest path to mastery. Our efforts begin in this very city. I shall cast about for evil that has taken root here. You won't have to cast about very far. It is the, never a den of, I was gonna make a Star Wars joke. A hive of villainy. Or whatever. I messed it up, I'm sorry. Then we proceed to excise it. Well now, that certainly was a got exciting quick, but with some even quicker thinking, I managed to set up a wager and turn a tiny profit. Momo Gizo. Gigo? Offer a debt of gratitude. Thanks to you, I found my people at long last. I pray you will live comfortably with your winnings. Actually, I had a mind to join you. Wherever you go, I sense coin will follow. And besides, it seems you're planning to root out evil in our fair city. So, if you'll have me along, with my connections, I could procure the information you're like to need. Then there's a small matter of your complete and utter lack of knowledge of Eorzea. There's that indeed. Had fate not fit to unite us, I would never have found my way here from Fester Bay. And it wouldn't be standing here breathing. If anyone knows anything, it's me. You saved me from those cutthroat bandits when I tried recruiting them for the Colosseum. Terribly reckless in hindsight. As for you, my friend, to be marked out by old Maso Sai himself, you must be made of uncommon stuff indeed. Yeah, I know, right? Not to put pressure on, but I have the highest hopes for you. Everybody seems to, and they seems to regret it, especially Rago Reach recently. And here we are, then. I shall undertake my search with Momo Gozu's help. I hope until such signs developments, pray continue honing your newfound skills. Oh yeah, the area where I can get the Fox kit, I will absolutely unlock the flying around as quick as possible. I might not be able to get to all the fates while on stream though, because they're random, and some of them take 2 days to spawn. Things have looking so flighty. Things have been delicate for a while now, but I've never seen the refugees looking so flighty. I suppose I'd be anxious too if every rumor flying from Gridania mentioned the battle on the border of my homeland. Okay, now that I have the samurai, let's see about... Okay, leveling with dungeons is back to needing a fighter. I mean a tank, so let me go ahead and do this so I can level up. I'll go ahead and teleport to limbs. Limbs. How's my battery on my phone? Reasonable so I can listen. Tenemo headband yet? I go to the achievements thing for that, right? Nah, probably not then. I mean, I have a headband. Let me go back to... Let me real quickly get to the Fallen Duty Finder. Okay, fine. Oh god. arm's length for a stun. I know, right? Sorry, concentrating on, you know, tanking. Sorry, I'm concentrating if I'm not talking too much. yeah, playing games with other people. Sorry, I'm concentrating. I'm not a good... I play games to avoid people. I mean, I'm not required to do some of these dungeons. Doing boring work fun. How's that server coming along that you have to do for your job? Had to restart it again, all over again? Two birds with one stone, streaming and antisocial behavior. True, I'm supposed to be here to entertain y'all. It's just, I'm not as confident as being a tank on this. By hand. Ew! Ew! So close to 50. Oh well. Oh, why am I doing that? I have to go down to the ferry! Fisherman's Guild, that's where I go! I mean, these are the ferries. Docks. Did I pick the wrong... The other ferry docks. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Lies. This time I'm like, at times like this I'm glad we've got Tataru taking care of business. I know, right? She could be a shark when she wants to. A surfeit of scrumptious foods, wondrous sundries, and plenty of clean undergardens. Yes, I do believe I have everything for a lengthy voyage. We're gonna be attacked, aren't we? An army marches on its stomach. Tataru took that lesson to heart. You've returned, Ishnai. I trust you learned much from our Doman friends in the Revenant's Toll. I am eager to hear all, though that can wait until we left port. We will have time enough to talk on our journey to Kogan. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you've completed yours, you may inform the deckhand we are ready to depart. All set, lass? I'll see you to the ship if so. Board the Misery! Ha! A name! Ha! Doesn't sound like a regretful name or anything. Yurioshi!
12 be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Thanks! I am a red mage. Thanks.
Rionge, tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Maybe.
Nay, my lady.
Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import.
Seeming import.
Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
If that was the whole look.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
I can get up my astrologian and see how that goes.
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey.
Oh god, I already forgot it.
What dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
Oh, a parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
Oh. Shiny. The other red mage gets something.
Is it for me?
She said he had something else for you.
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Oh, the other, like I said, the other red mage gets something, but I don't.
It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
For now.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others, and take care.
We're gonna be on a ship, close quarters. I'm kind of worried about having a dildo in that sense. Though, mind you, the cabin's pretty hot, so, I mean, if I need some... I'm gonna go away now. Or am I? Yes, long trip. Though, now that Alphino's voice has started getting deeper, I think he's finally, you know, old enough for me to start flirting with him. Though that will absolutely ruin him in the sense of not knowing what to do with it. Oh, we're gonna be attacked, aren't we?
A fine day, is it not?
No, Eliza's also
Fair winds and
sexy, so I
following
mean...
seas. The misery is enjoying herself.
Don't jinx it.
Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
You already made it this far before I got shown my quarters? These aren't... I don't know what quarters imply, but I mean... Good that the captain's entertaining us.
Is it supposed to do that?
No.
Not under normal circumstances.
The captain's flirting with me. Because he seems to be talking with me specifically.
You need it on deck. Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Don't blame me at all. No, never.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water.
things that shouldn't be there.
I mean, the souls of the damned.
Oh, for love. If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, cool. Good that we're in the same boat on that. Pun intended. Pun absolutely fucking intended on that one. Oh look, I'm in hail. It ain't right at all. Oh, this looks like Odin weather. It's not Odin, but it's Odin weather. In the shroud. Odd. Most odd. Not if you lived in the shroud for long enough. Well, do you have any idea what's going on? Absolutely. No, as the man said, despite the absence of wind and current, the misery is somehow being pulled off course. Well, why not fire up the ceruleum engines you have hidden below? An excellent suggestion based on the knowledge you should not have. Say, alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for some reason that escapes my engineers at the present. Ghosts. Ghosts. I'm telling you, Captain, it's them, the things the lad saw. I'm sorry if the sirens / mermaids like me and want me. Things. I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive. An adjective, perhaps. I mean, things can be an adjective, if you don't know anything else. Sea wolf superstitions and fairy tales, not more. But if you must know, the things which you so resent to name are the souls of the deceased women. You know, saying men and women said the Lord sailors to their death. Preposterous! Yes, indeed. If it was neither... I mean, we met a siren on our journeys already. Raiders, yeah! Hey, MMO, how are you? Welcome in! We're about to Odysseus this shit. Oh my god, what's happening, Sabby? To your stations? Oh, Odysseus this shit? I don't think the sirens will be as pretty as we think. Yes, indeed. If it's neither sea nor the weather which is responsible, then there's probably a predatory entity of some sort. Perhaps a siren or some such. Odysseus's, yeah. For all we know, this could be a fellow spice trader employing magic to seize and plunder passing vessels. No, seriously, guys, I have met and defeated a siren. And it was even a part of the main storyline. Regardless, we have but one recourse. Let the current take us to where it will and deal with whatever we find there. Just don't crash. It's an undertow. Say, though I'm betting Alphino, like I said, won't know what to do with a flirting girl. What a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I'm beginning to like you, girl. Once we arrive at our destination, my crew shall remain with the ship to defend while we venture forth to deal with the cause of our problems. Then it's settled. I know not what awaits us, but they'll rue the date reeled us in. I know, right? Violence! Siren C, Song C. Let's see what they have to say. The fiery one, Alaze. Was it? 'Tis a pity she holds our profession in such disdain. She would make an excellent pirate. I'm not saying I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that vengeful spirits are plotting our demise at this very moment. I'm just saying we cannot discount the possibility. No, they are, Deckhand. What if it's both the question and the answer? Crumbs the bug into— yeah, I know, right? It's kind of like crabs a legendary Pokemon into a small ball. I'll make sure that Tataru stays below deck until we know it's safe. Afino was terrified of ghost stories as a child. I'm glad to see that some things never change. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm calm as collected as ever. Carry on. Oh yeah, she is feisty. And I love her for it. Alright, let me switch over to my healer. Unless... if I'm deciding to go through... with NPCs... the captain's coming with us! Alright, sir. Tank me. In all ways. I don't like squishy things like this. Oh, okay, oh, okay. Tank? Like I said, tank me. An actual tank me.
Away with you!
I mean... I see no lies.
I hope you like it rough.
See? Even the captain said, I hope you like it rough. I'm not the only one thinking this. No. I mean, I do love rum too, so I mean... watch out, there's more of them. Who'd have thunk?
Away with you!
I mean... maybe they're too tired of actually, you know, keeping a good form. Like, fuck beauty standards if you're gonna kill them anyways. Dead ahead, all hands brace for impact. Seems to have arrived. Go on and greet our hosts. The rest of us will patch up the ship. And send you mirror. You know what? I forget that this is a multi multi-hit.
Curse, release!
There we go. And we have the singing of the damned behind in this song. If I punch them, then we can deal with them. I shudder what to think. I mean, apparently we could hit banshees, and those are literally supposed to be... Well, I mean... Now I think about it, they're fae in, you know, old times' sake. They're not actually ghosts, though they later were. I don't know, sometimes it's also enemies who didn't want to say bye and wanted to torture the shit out of you. You look like fun. You have too many tentacles. I mean, sometimes it's not murder, sometimes it's just torture. I mean, the longer you stay alive, the, longer they can get their revenge. Emmer. I mean, in some context, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying it in this context, though. See, consensual tentacles are good. Anything else? I don't think these are consensual. Just a feeling. Fun implies consent. Oh, sorry.
I hope you like it rough.
Well, good thing that the captain agrees with you, since he just said, I hope you like it rough. I'm done. I think they have a ship graveyard here. That looks ominous. Oh god, they're shooting at us. A ghost ship? Quite literally. Alphinaud's not having a good time. Like, it's fine, Scooby-Doo. You know, the real Scooby-Doo, not the Velma shit. I mean, he looks cool. Not as cool as the Black Pearl, but I mean... Also... Octopi. Thank you. Hey, Ghost Ship? What's that fucking aim? I shouldn't say much. It's gonna, like, absolutely wreck me in a second. I mean, I haven't moved, so, well, I moved a little bit, but not enough to say...
Here it comes! Take this!
Alright. Good that I'm getting on the fucking ghost ship. Hope it doesn't decide to, you know, decouple itself from reality while I'm on it. The Jane guy. Cool. Is there a legend behind that name? I feel like this might be a reference to something I am missing. I'm trying to figure out where the cannons are shooting us from. I just realized they're called Skinless Deckhand and Skinless Skipper. I wonder why. No. Thing up here. Yeah, there's something up there. It's called an invisible wall. That's kind of a cool design. I'm not gonna lie. The governor! We have the governor! Appears to be adrift for a while. Is that the crew? That doesn't scare. Sure, Alphino. You know, it's okay to be afraid. It's just don't become hysterical and stop fighting. I think he's become part of the floor. Yeah. I didn't vote for this guy. I mean... Nope. He sucked! He sucked! He sucked! Yeah! Yep, bit. Ah, did that bat. He keeps multiplying, and I don't like it. Like, he's multiplying not like cool rabbits.
Focus. Release.
Take this!
Also, way back in the past, you could really vote for your governor. If we're doing it by...
Take this!
Yeah, I'm just following Alpha now.
Feel the might.
It's the governor!
For you, Ida!
Governors were appointed. And if I remember correctly, in the past, at least in America, governors were also appointed, I think. No, this was after. Or was it like... No, it was, House of Representatives people. Or was it senators? One of those things. It wasn't initially having them vote for that part. Can't remember my civics class. Though my civics teacher got arrested, so I shouldn't say much anyways.
I hope you like it rough.
Okay, this is gonna bother me. This is gonna bother me.
I hope you like it rough.
Yes, I was correct! Passed in Congress of May 13th, 1912, and ratified April 1913. The 17th Amendment. God, I had to memorize all that stuff. Modified Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution by allowing voters to cast direct votes for the U.S. Senators. Prior to its passage, senators were chosen by state legislators. I feel like you're gonna slowly release these guys. See, to be fair, and the key of this, to be fair, I'm in Alabama. You know what the longest constitution in the world is? Alabama's. The way it's set up is a lot of the times the statewide has to vote on measures that don't affect statewide things, and it's put into the Constitution. And then there's a lot of, you know, right now, I mean, the last time I checked, I think there was like 600 amendments, and that was years ago. Back when I was more into politics. some of it nowadays is rewording things. We are now the 772. The last time I voted, it was something that had to do, the Constitution was ratifying wording of a certain area, so it was less racist, and something about changing around certain ways that taxes were being done in a county that I don't even live in southern Alabama.
I hope you like it rough.
Oh, wait. I'm finding somewhere else where it says that it's 850 amendments. Do we not know how to count how many fucking amendments the Constitution, the Alabama Constitution? Now has 900 amendments, including amendments dealing with bingo, mosquito control, catfish, soybeans, dead farm animals, beaver tails, and prostitution. 12 times longer than any typical state code. But all these are, I'm literally looking at these articles and they're like from 2014, so I shudder to think what a decade difference is. Fleshless captive. I don't know. Say the way that whatever that looks like flesh to me, but I mean, is not clothing flesh? Is not fabric a form of flesh to some degree, since it's supposed to keep us warm? Like our flesh isn't designed to do, versus
I hope you like it rough.
Me? Stop saying creepy things? Who do you think I am? You know, some people think that the sexual stuff is creepy too. Creepy thighs. I don't think this guy has thighs. annoying, isn't it? Oh look, does she have boobs? I mean, no. This she does. Okay. And she feels more like a banshee than the other. Though she's making bird-like noises. Lorelei, which is a form of siren. Cool. Is that the ghost of a siren? It's a fucking siren, Alphino! Hee hee hee, I've been waiting for you. Yay?
Take this!
I don't think I wanna... Forward march. Oh, fuck. Fuck! 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 Fuck!
Feel the might of the Kraken!
I'm gonna... Alphino, I'm coming over to see you. How you doing? I still slightly ran across that, but not as bad. Down, down to the depths, into your death. I'm good. I'm good. I've played Subnautica 1 and 2. Or 1 and half 2. Virgin Tears. Oh my god, why are you talking to me about that? That is one of her attacks. Ramble, ramble with me all through the night. I timed that poorly. No, 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 no!
Feel the might of the Kraken!
Oh no, Deepwater freaks me out, and the scariest thing for me in that game is the, Reaper Leviathan. Forward march. I'm not getting where to go on that one. Like I said, I should just follow Alphino on that. What does this look like? I do not like. Those are badass. I like that actually. And I know that's probably a level up of stuff, but... that will actually replace some of the other ones that I have. That are just a single skirt. Yes, fashion! What are you talking about?
That appears to be the last of them.
Cool, I don't have to read aloud.
Word from the misery. Repairs are complete, and we may resume our journey without further delay.
Did you hear that from the Pearl Link, or is it just you assuming? Because you were with me this entire time, and there's nobody else here.
If I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
You think... you think...
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane.
Yay, narration.
The only port open to outsiders in Higashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma.
The other thing I'm thinking I mentioned earlier of unlocking is Heaven on High.
All the colors of the rainbow, all the peoples of the world,
What?
all in one
Not in
place.
Limsa?
I wish you could have seen it.
I mean... strange, is it just me or is the ground swaying? It's like having the opposite effect since you just got off a ship. By the 12, I've never been happier to be back on terra firma. You're not on terra firma yet. You are still on the docks. Our voyage has instilled me a new appreciation for surfaces do not move of their own accord. Thanks again for saving us from certain death at the hands of the Lorelei and whatnot. We'll soon not forget. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It's very colorful, is it not? Yes. Congratulations! You now stand in Kugane, the western port of Higashi. Regrettably, the only port in the nation that opened to foreign trade. Oh, and I do apologize for the unforeseen difficulties which befell us during our journey. Needless to say, your assistance in overcoming them was much appreciated. I mean, you wouldn't have had the problems if I hadn't been... incidentally speaking. Same thing from y'all. Despite traveling halfway around the world, Alpha knows not the words. Glad though I am to have arrived, I would remind you all that we are far from home, with limited resources at our disposal. We have Tataru here. Duly noted, brother. I shall take care not to enjoy myself. Good that our guild is accepted here. In any event, Doma is our final the destination, and our first order of business is to be secure passage there. Captain Caravana, I realize you pledged only to take us this far to Kogane, and I have no desire to change the terms of our agreement. I should, however, be interested to know how you would go about reaching Orthard, were you in our position. At the risk of stating the obvious, you are in a port. Same. I'm gonna probably have to get rid of a few clothing things since that I got that skirt because I like it better. Surely there's a kind and generous soul here who would aid you for the right price. You cannot be the first traveler's secret passage to Doma. The captain makes a good point. 'Tis like that your Yaguri and Gogetsu were forced to come here for the self-same reasons we were. They must have found a way to Othart, assuming they are not still in the city. Ere we seek passage, mayhap we first seek our friends. Leave it to me, Alphino. Making friendly inquiries is my specialty, lest you forget. I got plenty of practice in Ishgard. Captain Culvian, could you direct us to the nearest tavern? Desperate for a drink, are we? You may find one in that large building just beyond the pier. Whether your journeys have come to an end or about to begin, the Sokaze Whole Street is a great place to rest, relax, and reflect, or so they say. And with that, my dear scions, I bid you farewell. As soon as we have replenished our supplies, we must away. Ours is a fast-moving business. The spice trade, you mean? But of course! Surely do not think I travel halfway around the world to deliver you to your destination solely out of the kindness of my heart. Perish the thought. Thank you, Captain, and may the navigator watch over and keep you. Right then, to the Holstry? After you. Actually, I'm gonna go to the Aetheryte, and then I think I have a Geomancer I need to... Or I have a cutscene instead.
By the 12. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
No, we aren't in Kansas anymore.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
Oh, 1,000 pardons, my lady.
I feel like you plan to...
Signs of the seventh dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
Well, his model has greatly improved between here and there, and I don't know if it was for the update, expansion, or whatever, or...
And you are?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugani and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
In looking at Gift Horse and the Mouse, get the fuck away from me, Chairman. Connection to Chairman Lorito. Dorito!
I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugane. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants, especially those who serve a master with whom we have such a difficult relationship.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with the modeling, his lips aren't as bad as in the other expansion.
Why, such naked suspicion.
Better than hidden suspicion.
I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of all faith in your fellow man. Or do you really think the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
Yes.
I beg your pardon? If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
Well, he's being just about as blunt as you are, Alphino.
Oh dear, have I offended you? Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then.
He had to get his
I shall
sea legs
explain.
gone.
You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port. Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government.
Yay.
Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
Violent relationship? Is that what you're saying?
To paraphrase, Kugani is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Yes.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
Oh, a Cold War. Cool.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
Dopey One Kenobi also received the achievements that I just did, and I love the name! I don't trust him one bit, and neither should you. Did I look like I was trusting him? Forgive me, a mere mention of the East Alder Nard. Trainee company is enough to mumble. I am fine, truly, you need not worry. I dare say Alphino has met his match. There are Imperial spies everywhere? Great, just great. You must be Ishnai Ciarfox, Slayer of Gods, Rider of Dragons, in multiple different ways. Savior of Ishgard, Stealer of Pants. I'm not wearing pants, though! Of some of more puzzling rumors to be believed. I knew it. Except for the Stealer of Pants! I don't know. I knew it. May I say what an honor and pleasure it is to make your acquaintance. My lady, I just know you and I are going to get along famously. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't know. I haven't stolen any pants. My guess is it's just rumors being fucking rumors. Now, without further ado, allow me to escort you to the company office. This being your first visit to our fair city, I shall make a good effort to point out various landmarks along the way, if you would be so good as to follow me. Swiper, no swiping. I swipe other things, unless you're saying swiper of pants in the sense that, because I go into dungeons and take loot from chests. Go ahead and unlock this. I take more than pants. Jewelry. Okay, let me come over here. Even Ithrites look different here. I mean, what were you expecting? I noted that our would-be host is elected to dress in local fashion. I mean, when in Rome. Sniff sniff. I say, what is that smell wafting from yonder tea house? Could it be? Yes. It could possibly be the scent of whispered secrets waiting to be overheard. Girl, calm down. Or tea. Yes. I do not like the cut of that man's jib, not one bit. Everyone, if I could have your attention, please. You're now standing in Konto. Loosely translated, it means Spire of the Drifting Souls, which, as some of you may have deduced, makes references to the Aetheryte which stands over yonder. The design is markedly different from those in Charlian, yet I trust its functional is identical. A diplomat and a scholar, wonders will never cease. You forgot gentleman in that joke. Far Eastern Aetheryte technologies have long and storied tradition, I assure you. This particular example was just constructed by the Onishisu, a collection of skilled craftsmen who guard their ancestral techniques with the utmost secrecy. In short, you'll find no less reliable than its Western counterparts. Attune if you like. I already did. Hancock would very much like to continue talking. Yeah, but if I can make a, Revolutionary War joke but does he learn how to write instead? Can you do more writing? Beautiful though it may be, we cannot spend all day staring at the Aetheryte. Come, let us move along. The markets are next. For all you that live outside of the United States and or cannot remember your revolutionary history, the reference to John Hancock has to do with, he signed his name very, very largely on the Declaration of Independence so that the British could read it very, very well. And hence the colloquial term of writing your John Hancock as your signature. History lessons here! Yes, exactly. Kagage is packed with like a warehouse with multi-storied hostels and tea houses, so the cobbles will never afford a man a decent view of the skies. No, if you want to see the heavens in all their glory, you must need to make your way up. Take this bridge behind me. There, atop that mighty span, the stars await. This is, I probably, before I mentioned, I jumped over to the Astrologian quest real quick since I'm here. She faces directly west of Koga Castle out towards the Ruby Tide and Althart and beyond. It says her location was determined by the great geomancer who just told the first by Bugo place it there would ensure the city's prosperity for generations to come. By the way, there is a hidden parkour thing around here that leads to a secret area, but fuck if I'm gonna try and do it. I'm not a platformer. Kagage's? Okay. Same thing over. Hard-ass jumping tower. I think it's all the way up there. Or that one over there. Oh, there was a shooting star up there. Huh. Lower. Alluring lady. When I wish to walk under the stars, I go with my promise to Tasugare Bridge spanning yon pier. The melting of crimson into indigo is a sight you will not soon forget. Complacent consort. Cunning consort. Okay. If it is the stars you seek, then you need look only up. But if it is a fool you seek, one who calls himself a master of wind and water, when in fact he's nothing more than a cheat, a liar, and a disgrace to our noble profession, then perhaps you might find the rat where all rats hide, near the piers. Bitch? I see someone has taken my spot. I may have to slit her throat and toss her body to the tide. I'd like to fucking see you try, boyo. I'm pulling your arm, Ishnai. Or was it ear? You Westerners have such odd sayings. Yes, he is a bit of a cunt, and he definitely is a Casanova. What brings you so far from home? A lot of things. A path fraught with disaster, misfortune, impending doom? Well, yes, the situation may not be as encouraging as my jovial demeanor suggests. Oh, really? It all began several decades ago when the Bakufu decided they were opening the port to foreign trade vessels. To accommodate the influx of ships, a section of ancient coastline forests was cleared. However, doing so greatly angered the entity who had guarded the wood for countless generations, a golden fox named Kinko. Oh, good! Fox! A great battle ensued, but claws and fang were no match for cold steel. Kinko was slain, and a new port was complete. The fox spirit, however, remained, spoiling our milk, withering our crops, causing storms that dashed ship after ship against our rocky cliffs. In desperation, the Bakufu turned to the land's most powerful geomancer, my great-grandfather, Kazan. Kazan used the power of the sea, the skies, and the land to soothe the spirit long enough that he could erect an invisible barrier to not only protect the city, but ensure that it would prosper. Something's happening to the wards, isn't it? At once, the fortunes of Kagage's citizens turned. My great-great-grandfather was hailed as a hero, and geomancy was the savior of our nation. Within a matter of moons, the streets were lined with stalls and tents of would-be seers, the people practically throwing coin at them for advice and blessings. These pretenders, these charlatans, were not interested in the sacred rites passed down to my great-grandfather from his great-grandfather and his great-grandfather before him. They were not interested in maintaining the barrier that preserved Kagage's luster and drove back the powers that would see it fall. No, they were more interested in lining their pockets. And now that the bonds that hold the barrier in place are about to break, there was none left with the knowledge to mend them. The knowledge that died with the passing of my grandfather. Why didn't he pass it on to you then? Confused. Unless there was like a rift in the family, I guess. And so I set out to convince the geomancers of Kagage to not only unite, that only united we would discover the means to save our fair city. That only united we could starve off the darkness and bring lasting prosperity to one and all. That only united would my grandfather's legacy live on. Alas, I failed, branding a deceiver by those very men and women who had grown fat on deceit. Unable to mend the bonds myself, nor rouse my peers to action, I stood on this very bridge and thought on an answer, and then I saw it in the setting sun. My answer lay to the west. So I packed my bags and headed to Eorzea in search of something, anything that might help me save Kagage. I believe that something astrology, but before I could be certain, I was summoned home. This you already know. Since then, I've been coming here every night, hoping the stars might provide me another revelation. But they remain silent. Ishnai, the heavens speak through you. Tell me, what do they say? The last one is solve your own problems. Use geomancy to mend the barrier. I admit it was a long story, but did you not hear a single thing that I said? If I could mend the barrier myself, I wouldn't have traveled halfway across the world in the first place. But wait, I did travel halfway across the world, and I didn't come home empty-handed. If I learned one thing while in Ishgard, it was that Western astrology is in many ways a complement to geomancy. Used together, they might just work. Stars say you're a dick, I know, right? So stars say that you're also a womanizer. After all, you only need to use your aspect benefit, and you can mend any injury, is that not so? No, really, I'm genuinely asking. The lesson explaining in finer detail the star's power, and how to harness it would conveniently scheduled for the day after I return home. But you know it all. Yes, I am a know-it-all. Don't rub it in. But tell me, can you help repair the barrier? Alright, thank you so much for joining, Lone Wolf. I did it, great-grandfather. I found a way to make things right. I mean, we haven't yet done anything. Well then, we have no time to lose. My great-great-grandfather created his barrier by anchoring the energies of wind, water, and earth to 4 shrines located at the north, east, south, and west ends of the city. It is there the bonds must be repaired. We shall begin with the nearby westerly shrine on the short pier. Are we about to be attacked? Is that what we're instancing? This is one of the shrines of which I spoke. It may not look like much, but if it were to be destroyed, the entire city would be overrun with large testicle raccoon dogs and flying rainbow cats. Or possibly just angry spirits. Tell the Tanuki to fuck off. However, I'll keep the flying rainbow cats. The plan is simple if I'm correct. Aspected benefit would intertwine with the barrier's geomancy energies, mending it as easily as it does flesh. We shall wait until nightfall to perform the rite, for the last thing we need is a drunken Ronin breaking your concentration. First of all, it is already night. Second of all, I don't think anybody can... It's a quick spell. No. Magic's intertwined, like 2 halves of a whole. From the heart of the mountain to the eye of the storm. So do the forms last. Find it in Retsu Garden, south of here. Good running. Will it let me? No, it won't. Damn it. Tune. Attune. Okay, fine. Oh. Blobs. Cool. Servants of the Fox, our mending first Westerling must have alerted her to our presence. Focus is required to complete the spell, and my heart will not rest easy until the spirits are. That wasn't so bad. Now step aside, I shall complete the ritual. I thought you didn't know how to do it. From the heart of the mountain to the eye of the storm. So the waters flow from the lasting bridges form. It's half. At this rate, the barrier will be full of strength before Sunrise! Also Funrise. Same time. Fleeing spirit. Oh, fun break. It appears I spoke too soon. Kingo knows what we do, sending her men. Well, if they're fleeing... Not for your safety, for mine. Oh, you're admitting your weight. Cool. the noises that they make me feel bad for killing them. Fleeting spirits. Oh, I didn't realize it's fleeting, not fleeing. I'm like, so going, if it's fleeing, I don't see the right reason why we're killing them, but I mean, okay. No, but they're getting larger. I had a bloody history of, I think, this many of the dead still linger. I mean, I don't think they're still lingering. I think they've always lingered here. I don't know why I accidentally did that to myself. Oh, what? I didn't have to attune to that one? Or did I already? Be my eyes. Northerly. Do you know or not north where the ill fortunes gain? I mean, that's a way of feng shuiing it, okay. Split the most resistant there. Prepare yourself. So, big bad. Big bad, go go rah 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 rah. Good that they give us a large open area for me to flee like the healer I am when I'm gonna be attacked. Fury of the Golden Fox. Fuck. Okay, that's... You don't look like a fox, though. And I feel insulted. We cannot breathe easy until your magics are cast, and I have completed the rite. Hurry. Kyo. Ah, we did it. We repaired my grandfather's barrier and throttled the golden fox. I don't think it's over yet, though. Blasphemy. I think some bigger evil or whatever is gonna, the barrier is gonna do this, is whatever is bad. A fine display, fine indeed. Though if it were I might have used gravity. I did use gravity! Motherfucker, stop judging me! When the flower creature had, alright, I'll just be saying my tongue on that again. When it was grouped up together, I used Kyo. I was told the spirits were in the streets. And you arrived just as they are vanquished. How fortunate. Yes, Master Marukumo. The bonds are made whole with the Western magics and little shoulder grease, or was it knuckle grease, Ishnai? Both. Western magic? Then this Indian lady is none other. Wait until you see the reinforced bonds. The energies twist together with ours like sun and moon, like darkness and light. They are one, Master. Then I was right to summon you home. Pardon my intrusion, traveler. I am Kumo, second pupil of the great Karazhan, and instructor to you, young Kyu. But with Kagage safe, I can now return to Ishgard to complete my training as an astrologian. Huzzah! You mean womanize? Absolutely not. While you have mended the weakened bonds for now, their ephemerality remains. Unless you expect your friend here to remain in Kagage for the remainder of her life, we need a more permanent solution. In other words, the bonds must be laid anew. See? But you know as well as I, the secrets to laying those bonds died with my grandfather, and he was a bitch for doing that. Not a day goes by that I do not suffer the burden of my ineptitude. Had I shown promise in the arts as your grandfather did, perhaps Kazan would have entrusted me with the knowledge as well. I mean, he's a bitch for doing it. I mean, maybe someday somebody would have come along and done it. But he did not, and now they are both gone. We can lament that which we cannot change, or we can put aside our past failures and seek the path which leads us forwards. My master is right. Perhaps there's something in my grandfather's tomes, or perhaps I can still find a way to win over the other geomancers to our cause. There's always hope, is there not? If anything, you've given us time to search for an answer. And for that I am grateful. The city will be as well if they knew you had saved them from an army of angry wraiths looking to devour their souls and defecate their bones straight into the darkest of hells. I mean, it feels like at some point you just gotta let them learn the hard way. And that is a definitely interesting metaphor. In his haste to find a difficult answer, he looks past the simple one right before his eyes. It may take you time to realize it, but you are the hope which we seek. In time, you'll come to see it as well. I shouldn't be. You're also, being that we just met, is a kind of jump logic. Out of nowhere. Just because I helped this time around doesn't mean that I'm good enough to help next time around. Also, we're running into the end real quick. Mostly the drop off that. Just need to attune with the ones over here. I think I'll have all of them. You must say of confidence you will not be disappointed. Cool! That's not one. Ninja Viper. I don't remember why I picked these ones out. Guess they were cool before. I mean, this is a mage one. A lot of my space is actually used up right now, believe it or not, with flowers to put in my hair for the wildness that is me. Anyways, now that I got that. I'll say, well, being my character is the tends to go purple anyways, you know, for obvious reasons that my avatar is also purple. But I do like to have a little bit of other colors besides purple there. And I'm gonna make it kind of based on more on the type that let's go ahead and grab the barracks. On the type of like I have red mage is red. Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna live up by my own expectations, not yours. I'm setting up a really nice one for if I ever, get leveling up a melee class I like. See? Isn't that so cool? Well, actually, let me rephrase that. This is probably going to be the Dark Knight ones for so far. Did I remember to actually unlock that? Like the stupid person I am. Yes, I did. So let me guess, Apocalypse, your favorite color is purple? I'm just, you know, spitballing here. Oh, shame. Because your name is Apocalypse, or like the real life name. Is it Violet? Been doing it for long enough, people believe. Ah. Can we be truthful? My favorite color is blue, but I think there's enough redheads with blue everywhere. And green. I like purple though. It's not like I hate the color. The only color I really hate is neon pink. Actually, neon red too. I guess it more comes down to the vibrancy of the two of those. Seems to bother me more than anything of the color. Like it... I'm not complete a fan of pink, but I mean, it has its prettiness to it in certain situations. Did I get all of them? I'm gonna quickly run by. Or did I forget this one? Nope, I forgot this one. It was hiding under the marker. To yourself, yep. So let me real quickly run up here and... Though it was a single generation past, the people of Koga have already forgotten the prosperity they experienced is not the result of some serpent-tongued swindlers, but the humble efforts of true geomasters like Kyo's great-grandfather. So I guess this is farewell, unless that is you're staying. You're staying? She's staying! Master, she's staying! What changed your mind? Who says I was leaving? I never said... There's no mind changing. I literally am here to liberate a country. No, don't tell me. Knowing you'll be here with me and Master Marukumu is enough. I was beginning to worry that I would be the next... would do the next time of the city was invaded by Kinko's minions. The Master can barely make his way out of the privy each morning, let alone battle bloodlusting specters. Now that you mention it, all this reminds me of that reading Lady Livia conducted the morning I arrived at the observatory. Something about friendly paths lined with dangerous fruits fruit bushes winding their way to hope. Or winding their way to hope. Could the stars truly have predicted all this? If so, I'm impressed. I will need to think more on the issue. Until then, might I suggest you continue your refinement of your art in the scenic Kingashi. You'll find our beasts just as formidable as yours in the West, if not doubtedly so. Well, to be fair, I'm already a high enough level to continue. Greetings, Ishnai. I hope your training is better than our search for information. We'll come back to this. Let's get settled at least in... Just like every rose has its thorns, so does the city have its share of cheats and pretenders. This goes doubly so for our population of geomancers. The worst offender, that charlatan who claims to be the blood of Grandmaster Kazan, the greatest geomancer to ever live and serve the Bakufu. Wear his honey-tongued leash to find yourself purse a stone's weight lighter. Most of those who work in the shopping or in trade will keep a geomancer on retainer, whom they call upon before making any significant business decisions. They say that behind every wealthy man flows both water and wind and water. Any respectable merchant knows that without the sage counsel of a geomancer, their business is like to fail, just as any respectable merchant knows that said counsel does not come cheap. If it is our counsel you seek, we can provide you with a reading in 3 moons' time. That is, unless you pay an expedition. That shouldn't be... Bitch. We have some spine as actors performing today. Why deprive yourself of a wondrous spectacle? Save yourself the pain of the stabbing pain of regret and come see the show. Okay. Be still my heart. All the shops. Well, I expected nothing less of a bustling port. No sign of Gogetsu or Yugiri here. Not that I suspected to stumble upon them just like that, though it would have been nice. I know! You know, being main protagonist, it always seems to be serendipitous. Just look at all these garish designs. Not fond of subtlety, are they? Is that a theater over there? Yes. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. I don't have it, therefore I don't flaunt it. We have arrived at the largest shopping district in Kugage. Kugage Dori. Kugage, as you are doubtless unaware, is an ancient Higan word for gold. So, Mora! Leeway! Genshin jokes. So this prosperous port where golden fortunes are made, lesser fortunes or kogen are earned by local merchants. It's quite logistical once you learn the language. Ko means little usually when used. Now you're beginning to speak my language. If they're still following the Japanese, I might be wrong on that. Who knows? Oh, kindred spirit! What a pleasure it is to meet a young lady who appreciates the value of hard-won coin. Is it hard-won, though? Because usually with merchants, they aren't the ones that are actually blood, sweat, and tears getting it. They're the middlemen. You know, means of production means they value, gain value off other people's hard work. Cancock of the East Aldernard Trading Company, you are with clients today? Why, if it isn't Master Keaton? Pray allow me to introduce you to my esteemed guest, but recently come from distant Eorzea. This kind and generous soul supervises all transactions here in Kogedori. Your sincerity is ever appreciated. As he says, I am Keaton of the Hakukuchi clan, and it is my honor to serve as overseer of these markets. As we receive many foreign visitors in Kugane, we accept all manner of currencies. Rest assured, your Eorzean Guild are welcome here. I invite you to peruse our wares at your leisure. But what's the exchange rate of Guild versus what's the prosperous here? I'm not asking because I've been to a few foreign countries. Is it like the British pound where everything's more expensive, or is it like the dollar versus arms, armor, foodstuff, portables? Here you'll find all of them and more. Don't think I haven't memorized every detail of that street. There are at least half a dozen shops that could be enjoying my custom. Good girl. Where to next, I wonder? We're actually quite far from the docks now, aren't we? This place is bigger than I thought. The district up ahead has a different air to it, as though it's the ambassadorial areas. If we may pause here for a moment. This road leads up to the Injingai, the district where the Injin, or foreigners, are permitted to reside. That would be also where the foreign embassies are found, including that of the certain empire. Precisely. So you see, it would not be all unusual to cross paths with one of those Garlean cousins here. With this in mind, I would encourage you to choose your words carefully. We would not want any physical altercation after all. Such spats are strictly forbidden. Don't let the autistic person speak to any of them then. That's what you're saying, right? The Siski Setsugami punishes breaches of the peace quite severely. I have seen foreigners permanently exiled for a single violation. Though to be fair, it is not common. More often than not, they are executed on the spot. Fun. What? Cut down then and there? You're joking, right? Would that I were, but alas, these samurai are a humorless lot. Good thing I haven't been training to be one. Which I haven't. I just happened to collect it today. Why, I recall one instance when a foreign trader in his cups dared to lay hands upon a Higan aristocrat in front of this. Well, I mean, it was a aristocrat. The samurai cut him in half with a single stroke. I don't even want to think about that. So, as far as you see, it would behoove you to behave. Failing that, we may be forced to part ways with one another, or you will find yourself in the matter of the late jokes, quips. Actually, I want to laugh at his death too. Oh, how I amuse myself. But we must carry on. I have to show you the Garlean consulate. Do you have to? Do you think they might have told me what I look like? It told them what I look like, or something like that? You know, press relief. I know that they're not supposed to know that I'm out here anyway. So why are we going near here? There's spies everywhere. Also, look. I know that says Festus, but for a moment I read it Fetus. I might need to get some more coffee. Close. That's close enough, Savage. Bitch! He is a fetus. Danger, excitement, intrigue. Oh my! Some might call it unwise to loiter outside the gates of a hostile empire's consulate. Agreed! So that building's full of Garleans, for now. Compared to the Higan architecture, this seems drab and uninspired. I know, right? I mean, it has a mixture of Queen Anne kind of style, but not with the finesse of it. It's more imperial style, Victorian era, compared to the full of Garlean aesthetics as they were. As you may have surmised, is the consulate of you-know-who. Voldemort? Mark the guards at the gate. Are their uniforms not different from those you seen in the West? They're fancier. Were you to travel far and wide, you might find that such variations exist, often inspired by local designs, all of which goes to show that even a massive empire seeking to rule all of creation is not without artisans. I'm not surprised on that fact. Why are you acting like that's a big reveal? By the grace of Lord Dorito. There's so much more I could speak of. I know it's probably not creative to call him Dorito, but I'm gonna. Speak of the soothing waters of the Ocean, the ephemeral delights of the Pleasure District. Where's that last one? But you're doubtless still weary from your long sea voyage. I don't know, I think I have enough energy for the Pleasure District. Cool. Let us retire to the company office. I will find the energy for it. Why look surprised? Aha, the unmistakable scent of wealth and power, I guess. Even though this feels just as out of place as the Garlean consulate, it's a lot more comforting. There's no denying this place is built for Udalin. I dare say we could travel to Maracia or the New World and find a man like Hancock waiting for us. Yes. At long last we arrive at our destination. May I present to you our humble offices? Yes, humble. I mean, the brickwork kind of says it too. We have much to discuss, so I'll refrain from... I mean, they haven't even put in, like, plaster or any kind of paint over it. We have much to discuss, so I'll refrain from further prattle. Come, right this way. This is not my inner house flipper speaking. Even though I think I designed on stream. One with brick, but I mean, the mortar between the two of them isn't very well done. Is that Lolorito? Is that a statue of Lolorito?
Great pains to ward these walls against all manner of surveillance. Where business dealings are concerned, we do not compromise on confidentiality. You may avail yourselves of these offices for the duration of your visit. Come and go as you like, and know that you may speak freely here.
I don't think speaking freely, in that sense of Lolorito is listening in, is considered speaking freely. Since you are in his pocket.
Your offer is most generous, but I will not enter into any agreement which would leave us beholden to you or your master.
A legitimate concern. Allow me to clarify then. The chairman bids you consider this as an expression of his heartfelt contrition for the bloody banquet and the unpleasantness which followed. Never having been one to put stock in words alone, the chairman deems the provision of material aid to be a more appropriate demonstration of his sincerity.
I mean, that's something.
By sheer coincidence, your purpose here also happens to coincide with our own interests. That is, assuming you are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front.
See? See?
How could... I will not bother to offer a denial. You have the right of it. To be specific, we are come in search of our Far Eastern allies,
fucking snakes,
and Gosetsu, whom we hope to assist in their fight.
And that's kind of insulting the snakes to call them that, now I think about it.
The Aori Shinobi and the Rugadin Samurai? Then you will be pleased to know that they have both come to Kugani.
Yay?
Are you sure?
Did he stutter?
Quite. They came here aboard a company vessel, you see. However, they encountered difficulty securing passage across the Ruby Sea.
The Ruby Sea? Sorry, I've never been any good at geography.
This is a new area for you, too.
Forgive me. This calls for a map.
A map! 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 Map!
We are here in Kugani, the sole open port of Hingashi, situated on her western coast. Doma, meanwhile, is here on the eastern coast of Offord in Yansha.
So it's symbolizing the Sea of Japan kind of thing?
Therefore, if your friends are to reach Doma, they must first cross the Ruby Sea.
Bet it's called Ruby because there's a lot of blood. And not because there's a lot of gems of ruby there.
Alas, this is easier said than done, as the Ruby Sea does not fall within the dominion of either Hingashi or Doma, being controlled since antiquity by a third party, namely the Confederacy.
Are they pirates? That is a fucking awesome design.
Is known for the consummate skill of its sailors, and for demanding that any vessel entering its waters pay a toll referred to as the Ruby Tithe. In exchange, the Confederacy's vast fleet guarantees the safety of those who travel within its territory.
A toll, mafia kind of deal. Cool, okay.
Now, as I'm sure you are aware, Garlemald conquered Doma some 25 years past, at which time the Empire saw no value in controlling the Ruby Sea, and thus did they turn a blind eye to the activities of the Confederacy.
I'm guessing that changed since they crushed Doma?
The recently appointed acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma had other ideas, however. She has formally condemned the Confederacy
Fun.
and declared that any who recognize their authority shall be branded enemies of the Empire.
Oh, good. Enemy of my enemy.
Bowing to this pressure, Hingashi severed ties with these toll-takers and forbade the payment of the ruby tithe, prompting the Confederacy to make it known that any merchants choosing to sail the Ruby Sea would do so at their peril.
Fun! Protection money.
No wonder they struggle to secure passage to Doma. What captain would risk such a journey given the circumstances?
So my guess is, besides, you know, playing disaster capitalism in Doma after we liberate it, what we also need to do is repair the bonds between the whatever the Confederacy is, so that Dorito over here could profit.
I'm told your friends were not so easily deterred from their course, but I know not whether their persistence bore fruit.
I say we follow in Yugiri and Gosetsu's footsteps and attempt to secure passage to Doma for ourselves. We will need to cross the sea in any case, and we may learn something of their whereabouts in the process. And should we find that they are still in Kugane, we can make the journey together.
Friends!
In that case, I have some information which may be of use to you. No quid pro quo, I assure you. The chairman was most insistent that I aid you to the best of my ability.
This is still quid pro quo because he's basically, you know, trying to, you know, soothe our anger over the bloody banquet. So still, it is quid pro quo. I hate that smile. Oh, this place takes me back. Reminds me of the workshop in an udon lapari I once served. He was not exaggerating when he spoke of their ward's efficiency. Whoever wove them did so with consummate skill. I'm not sure how I imagined our time in the Far East unfolding, but it definitely didn't involve Uldens, and especially not these Uldens, so whatever works, right? I must confess, I'm an avid collector of all things Far Eastern. See for yourself, I must insist. Oh, a weeb. You're a weeb. Okay, cool. Though I am reluctant to take any action whatsoever that could construed as placing ourselves in Lord Dorito's debt, we must avail ourselves what means are available. Our Alamegan allies place their faith in us, and I do not intend to disappoint them. Okay. Question mark, oh no. Alphino is a man with a plan. And it involves me doing all the work, right? It would seem insufficient for all of us to venture out together in search of information for Yugiri and Gugetsu's whereabouts. Agreed? Agreed. We need to cast our net wider and split up, gang, and pursue all available avenues of inquiry. But if we're to coordinate our efforts efficiently, we need to establish a working base of operations here. Make friends! But keep the old... There's a the Moogle! Oh! It's kind of like the cat thing in the background. Sorry, I just noticed that. ADHD. Indeed, Tataru would be best suited for the task of organizing our supplies and procuring new ones. She's so happy. But also information. While she attends to that, we should force off begin our search by questioning the individuals Hancock identified. Alize and I will go take those in the southern districts of the city. The two of you can take in the north, because we need Alize to, you know, be with somebody who will temper her tongue. In anticipation of such eventuality, I took the liberty of preparing a few sketches of Yugiri and Gosetsu during our voyage. ever the artist. You know, getting good at that from, you know, drawing pretty ladies and trying to get their attention in, Charlian, you know? Wow, you solo warned me you were a bit of an artist, but these are great. They'll definitely come in handy. Looks like it's you and me, Ishnai. Let's step outside and talk about where to start. You know, it's also not good for either of us, because lies is just as subtle as a hammer, and I am autistic, so getting people to talk might also be a bad thing. Good samurai is hard to find. Greetings, honored madam. Would be answered. Are they still in there so I could talk to them if they have anything different to say? Leave everything to me. If I can keep the waking sands, the rising stones, and the falling snows. Where the fuck is the falling snows? Where the— oh, I guess that's what you decided to call the place in Ishgard? This should be easy. I need to think of a new name. Blooming cherry blossoms? No, that's not good. One second. I'm gonna take a pause to grab some more drink.